Great day. Hello, welcome to Sunrise. Thanks for joining us on a very exciting morning for Australia. The Matildas have done it. On a history-making night in Melbourne, they crushed the Olympic champions Canada with a 4-0 masterclass. The best thing about it, they were afforded the luxury of keeping Sam Kerr on the bench for the entire game.
So, right around this country, thousands of fans packed into live sites to watch the Matildas. Federation Square in Melbourne, which has been the scene of so much excitement, was absolutely filled. In Sydney, a boisterous crowd cheered on the Aussies at the city's main live site, Tumbalong Park. And in Adelaide, the famous Festival Plaza erupted when the Matildas opened their account with their first goal.
Katie Brown is in Melbourne for us this morning. Katie, what a night. Great to see the green and gold shining better than ever.
Yeah, it is so good. Look at me. I'm still in awe of what happened last night. 4-0. Are we kidding? Like 1-0, sure, we'll take it. But 4? I'm outside their hotel and I'm just hoping that they're watching now because they obviously wouldn't be sleeping after that incredible victory over the reigning Olympic champions. So we're taking orders. Girls, tell me your coffee if you want bacon and egg rolls, whatever bread, I'll bring it to you. Eggs Benny, that's my preferred choice, hard poached eggs. Anyway, let's take a look at how it all played out last night. A full house in Melbourne as the Matildas knockout campaign started the game early with a nation behind them. Jacket on, Sam Kerr remained warm in the warm-up, continuing to lead from the sideline. Mary Fowler back for some strike. But it was Hayley Raso who struck the early blow.
What a moment for Australia! Hayley Raso scores!
All-out attack against Canada. Raso pressed again, her double coming shortly after.
Falls here, and it's a goal for Hayley Raso! Raso at the double in the first half.
A 2-0 lead quickly became 3.
Cutback is on, and it's in.
Fowler couldn't believe it herself. Australia on the verge of sending the Olympic champions packing. Tape off, Captain Kerr remained in cotton wool. Canada with no answers. VAR gifting the Matildas a final minute penalty. Stand-in skipper Steph Catley making the net bulge for a 4th time, sealing an emphatic win.
She puts the cherry on the cake. It has been a red-letter evening in Melbourne.
Tonight, I think, was more than the 90-minute football. I think it represents so much more what the Matildas stand for and what they want to do in terms of inspire and unite people.
Finishing top of Group B after Ireland held Nigeria to a scoreless draw, a likely round of 16 match against Denmark or China. Katie Brown, 7 News. The vibes are real, the excitement is still there. Brett, I don't even know how you're still awake because I swear to gosh you had an all-nighter last night watching that. I'm serious though. Matildas, I know you're watching. Text me or slide into my DMs with your orders. I got the work credit card. Let's do it.
Whatever they want, Katie. There is no limit this morning. Whatever they want, you just get them whatever. That's great. How good was it? How good. Unbelievable.
And the young Aussie fans watching on, inspired by that moment. And it's going to continue.
Absolutely.
They're playing again on Monday, round of 16.
That was the moment for me there. If you saw Sam Kerr's face at the end when she's hugging the other girls and just the excitement in her eyes for someone, a player of her stature, to be going, hey, we're on in this tournament. And she lifts the others and she also terrifies the other teams as well. So we're in a really good spot. That is a career-defining moment for all of those players and for football in Australia and for that team. That was massive.
Yeah, they showed what it meant in that match because after Nigeria it was like, oh, we could be knocked out. Yeah. But they did it.
Yep.
Great job.
What a night. Lots more coming. In the meantime, let's get more news. Yeah, lots happening overnight, Nat. In breaking news, the Ashes series has ended in a draw after England won the final test at the Oval. A batting collapse midway through the Aussies' run chase saw England take 4 wickets in 19 balls. In the end, Australia fell 49 runs short, the retiring Stuart Broad claiming the final 2 wickets. The 2-2 series draw, good enough for Australia to retain the earn and bring it home. We'll have a full match report live from London with Hugh Whitfield coming up in Sport with Barrett's. There's hope of a pause to stinging rate hikes today as the Reserve Bank prepares to hand down its interest rate decision this afternoon. Let's go live to Jennifer Beshwadi in Canberra. Jen, most economists are predicting they will be kept on hold today.
They are. Good morning, Eddie. Well, there are a lot of factors to weigh up. Last week's inflation data shows that cost of living is falling faster than expected. There's a sharp fall in consumer spending, and many economists believe more rate hikes will plunge the economy into recession. So it is looking increasingly likely that the Reserve Bank will hit that pause button on interest rates later this morning when it meets. But the pain is already being felt by households. Tens of thousands of them are facing that so-called mortgage cliff. Reports out this morning suggests about 150,000 households on cheap fixed-rate loans will soon be switched to that higher variable rate loan, and that could mean an increase of more than 50% on their mortgage overnight. So not good news there. And there's every chance, Eddie, that the Reserve Bank will lift interest rates later this morning, making it the unlucky 13th rise. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens, Eddie.
And Jim Chalmers, the Treasurer, coming up after 7 on Sunrise this morning too. Thank you so much for that, Jen. It's been revealed this morning Queenslanders are more likely to be robbed or have their home broken into than anywhere else in the country. Let's go live to Georgie Chumley in Brisbane. Georgie, some pretty shocking figures out this morning.
Good morning, Eddie. These are crazy figures revealing from the ABS that 200,000 Queenslanders were victims of crime last year. That's the most in the nation, and a 15% increase on figures from 2021. To break down those figures, there were 3,000 victims of robbery, 47,000 victims of unlawful entry, and 126,000 victims of other kinds of thefts. Also in Queensland, you're twice as likely to have your car stolen than if you live in New South Wales. And while these figures are incredibly shocking for many Queenslanders, sadly they're not surprising because they have been or know someone who is a victim of crime. Eddie?
Thank you so much for that, Georgie. Commuters who rely on a major Western Sydney rail line will instead be catching buses for a year. The New South Wales Premier will today announce that the T3 line between Bankstown and Sydenham will be entirely shut for 12 months from next year for works on the metro conversion. They'll be replaced by dedicated buses. A shutdown had always been planned, but there had been speculation of a delay of up to 15 months. Budget airline Bonza will soon offer flights to almost a dozen destinations out of a new Gold Coast base. In a deal that'll represent a $100 million boost to Queensland tourism industry, flights to 11 domestic destinations will operate out of the new hub for as low as $49. But it comes as the airline scrapped 5 routes and cut back its regional flights just weeks ago because of low demand. A desperate search is underway this morning to find Leo, a 2-year-old dog stolen from a Melbourne home. Let's go live to Tegan Doling in Brunswick this morning. Tegan, he was snatched from the front yard there.
Yeah, he was, Eddie. Poor little Leo. He's a Labrador French Mastiff. He's only 2 years old and he was stolen from his front yard here in Park Street. CCTV shows a man walking up to his front gate. He unlatches the gate, takes Leo and leads him back to his car. Now, that man was parked out the front of his house for quite a while. He was in a silver Toyota Kluger, but it did have stolen number plates, which were TCD 849. His owner's very desperate, obviously, to get Leo back, and they fear that he may try to be sold online to people who don't know that he's actually stolen and very well loved.
Oh, I hope you can get back home. Thank you so much for that, Tegan. One of the world's biggest music legends has announced he's touring Australia 6 years after he last graced our shores. Nathan Curry is at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. Nathan, drum roll, who is it?
Eddie, good morning. It is Sir Paul McCartney, the Beatles legend himself. How good. He said he'd be back when he left in 2017. His tour is called Got Back, so he's living up to that. He is now 81 years old, but let's be honest, he's still got it. He headlined Glastonbury last year, absolutely slayed it. We're not going to have to wait long to see Sir Paul in action down under. Saturday, October 21, he'll be here in Melbourne at Marvel Stadium, but before that, he's kicking the tour off in Adelaide, a more intimate arena show. Hasn't played in Adelaide for ages, so that's massive. From there on in, it is all stadiums. Newcastle, Gold Coast, they're going to get their first ever taste of Sir Paul. Then Brisbane and Sydney are going to get to see him in action as well. Tickets go on sale next week, so we'll see if Paul fans can outdo what the Swifties did last month when Taylor Swift tickets go on sale. I'm sure if anyone can, it's us Aussies. Plenty of the iconic moments of Beatlemania were here in Australia back in the 60s, so we love Sir Paul. Can't wait to have him back, Eddie.
Oh, what a year for live music in Australia. Thanks, Nathan.